Hi there and welcome to Chugging Along with me, Tim.
And me, Sam.
So yeah, thank you very much for your comments on last week's video, and actually a rematch has been planned with my brother Henry. I will try my best to get the revenge. Hopefully, weather permitting, that will be next week. So yeah, fingers crossed for that. And also, you may have noticed that this channel has a new logo. Yeah, so you can see it there. It is me and Sam, a cartoon version of us standing on a more colourful version of Marielle. Yeah, so I hope everyone likes it.
And as Tim said, we've been going through your comments, and one of the questions, or one of the comments that we came across a lot, was people asking us about what it's like being a couple living in such a small space. So we decided to make a video about that for you today. But I guess the first question is, how big is the space?
Yeah, so this space is 33.5 square meters, or 365 square feet. So yeah, that is what we're dealing with. Yeah.
And what's that equivalent to?
Equivalent.
Just to give people a bit of context, maybe.
Well, yeah, I think, yeah, it's like a stretch limo. I think that we are posh and we live full time on a stretch limo, apart from the fact we steer it from the back, and it's not available to rent for stag and hen do's.
No, it's not. I don't think the insurance ever cover that anyway, even if we tried, to be honest.
I think it's a good side gig. I think we could get into that, actually.
Too much clearing up afterwards. So for today's video, me and Tim have sat down, we put our heads together, and we've basically come up with a list of pros and cons of living in such a small space. Because whilst there are obvious challenges, there can be surprisingly some good points and some perks to living in such a small space. So we're going to start with the good first. I think one of the good points for me especially is everything's accessible. So everything is within a distance of 3 or 4 or 5 seconds away from walking to anywhere. So I don't have to worry about going upstairs to another room to get something, or see if I forget something, can I get off the boat? It's so much easier for me to get it afterwards, because I think one of my pet peeves is if you're living in a house and you've got stairs, you go upstairs, you go and get something, you go back downstairs, and then if you go out the front door and forget something else, then you have to go back upstairs again. So you're constantly going upstairs. It's a lot easier with a boat. So I think that's my good point. What about you?
All right, noted. If we ever do get a house, we'll definitely get a bungalow then. Yeah. I think... Well, I think, I mean, you take use of every space, don't you? You appreciate every single little nook and cranny, and I think that can only be a good thing, isn't it? It's not wasteful, and yeah, you just sort of understand everything that you use, and everything has a purpose. Yeah,
that's
I quite
true,
like that.
Actually. Yeah, and I think that leads into the next good point we've got as well, which is about knowing what you have, and everything has a purpose as well. Me and Tim, we're quite ruthless with what we have. I think that's come as a result of us living in other countries and living out of a suitcase, so you can't take too many things with you. So we sort of approach the boat in the same way. So if we have items that we think we're not going to make much use of, then we'll give them away or get rid of them. That way we're not hoarding too much on the boat. So I think that's another good point about being in a small space for us. Yeah,
true. And another one as well, which is quite a good thing, is that we are thinking about getting a dog. Yeah, we're not sure when, but the dog that we both like, we both like greyhounds. Fine living in a small space. You know, we live on a narrow boat. A greyhound is a narrow dog, and yeah, they're also quite lazy. So yeah, that is another good side as well, isn't it?
Absolutely. So definitely some good points there.
So you do get some negatives, of course, that come with living in a small space. It is somewhat of a compromise, isn't it? So I would say the first thing for us living in this small space is the narrowness of it. That can make me feel, anyway, a little bit claustrophobic. If I've spent the whole day on the boat, I just have this urge and need, I really need to get outside. And to be honest with you, it's not all bad, because, you know, over on the canals, they do have a towpath, so it's a great place just to get outside. You've always got a nice walk guaranteed, and to be honest with you, you should be going out and walking and exercising every day anyway. So yeah, I guess it is solving somewhat of a laziness issue. So yeah, but it still is a negative. It does feel a bit claustrophobic sometimes. Yeah,
but there's a good point with a bad point, which is what we like. And I suppose another thing is constant cleaning, because it's such a small space, so it gets very dirty quickly. And unlike flats or houses where you've got different rooms and compartments, you can just shove all your rubbish into one room and close the door and then deal with it when you want to. We don't really have that here. Everything's on display, so there's a lot more cleaning that has to take place when we're on the boat. But I guess the good point is, because it is such a small space, I can clean a lot quicker and get everything done very quickly as well. We
can clean a lot quicker. We both clean, don't we?
Yes, we do. You clean your plate very well when I give you dinner. But we can definitely clean up this place a lot quicker. I don't know what I'll do if I'm in a 3 or 4 bedroom house. I'll have to go through all the rooms bit by bit.
Well, yeah, we do 1.5 each or 2 each.
Oh yeah, of course. Tim, would you say it was difficult for us to make the transition living in a small space?
Yeah, okay, good question. I would say that it really hasn't been much of a transition for us. It's been a transition for us living on a boat and all of those kind of things, but over the last few years, we have been living in big cities and small flats. So we have lived in different places. We've lived in small studio flats in big cities when we lived in Vietnam, Germany and China. So yeah, for us it has been something that we're fairly used to already, really, I would say so. Yeah,
I think we got used to it quite quickly, because very early on we've learnt to communicate with each other, and also to give each other space when the other person needs it. So from when we were living abroad, that was something we would do. If one person needed time to themselves in the flat, the other person would go outside for a coffee or go for a walk. So it doesn't really change being on the boat, I suppose. So yeah, it doesn't make a massive difference.
Yeah, true.
That being said, if you are thinking about doing this lifestyle or any other type of lifestyle which involves living in a small space, I think you need to talk to the person that you're also doing it with, and you've got to be very honest with each other. A lot of communication needs to happen, because if you are the sort of person that needs your own space, or likes boundaries, or likes breakout spaces,
or
I
if you've
suppose,
got your mates coming around and you just want to spend time with you and your mate or something like that, that is, there is sometimes you will just, something like that.
Yeah, you have to make sure that you talk about it first to know if you both feel comfortable living in such a small space, because for some people it might not work out, really.
Yeah, but I would say that you can get used to it though, when we're at opposite ends of the boat, one of us is, chilling there. I feel like I'm in my own world, really. Like, you know what I mean?
Because it's that darker, that's why it's so dark.
I'm in my sort of dark bedroom, on my laptop. Yeah, it's fine, yeah.
It's the equivalent of your man cave, basically.
Yeah. Actually, it's not a man, it's an office.
Oh, sorry.
It's business only.
Business only. Yeah. I think one of the things that made it easier for us as well is that I come from a large family living in London where space is at a premium. So I've never really had a problem with living in smaller spaces or sharing my space with other people. And I suppose for you, you've always been interested in sort of alternative lifestyles.
I guess so. Yeah, I guess I've always been interested in living in different ways, haven't I? And living in, I've always wanted to live in big cities, and that comes, at the cost of space. So it's something I've always been sort of willing to compromise on, and I think I actually quite enjoy it, to be honest. Yeah.
One thing that does actually make it easier for us living in a smaller space is that narrowboats are very good at making use of space, and that comes with lots of storage that you wouldn't otherwise notice or have in a house or a flat. So that's something we're going to be talking about. So Tim, what would you say are some of the space savers that we have?
Okay, yeah, well the first space saver that we have is under the bed. That is the exact same in houses and everywhere, isn't it? Under the bed is sort of a void for random stuff. And yeah, for us that's no different. I can't even think what we've got underneath there at the moment. We've got
suitcases.
Yes, our suitcases, because apparently we still live out of suitcases, even though we don't. Yeah, we've got foldable chairs, a vacuum cleaner.
Some shelves.
Yeah, some shelves that we haven't put up that were from the previous owners. So yeah, we've still got under the bed and we've still got some space underneath it, yeah.
Enough space for a Christmas tree for storage.
Oh, yeah, true. That's something to think about, yeah. So yeah, what else have we got then, Sam?
So we've got steps on the boat to get you in and out the boat. And they look like normal steps, but actually you can lift the lid off them and you can store things underneath them, which is really useful. So I've managed to put some things in there that to be honest, I otherwise wouldn't know where
They are really cool. When you discover them as well, you're like, oh, it lifts
great.
up.
I was like, oh, I can fill it with things. Perfect.
Yeah.
So we've got those as well. What else do we have?
And also under the sofas as well. So you may have seen that in our boat tour video. So all the cushions lift off and they're hollow inside. So they've got loads of storage space. Yeah. This one here, the one that I'm sat on, has lots of DIY stuff. And paints and those kind of things. The other one I've never looked at. What is in that one?
Not as useful. Well, it's got our old boat batteries on there. I say old.
Oh yeah, for the weight distribution. Yeah, we did that for the weight distribution, didn't we? Yeah, because we got the washing machine. The boat started to be the wrong thing, so we put the old batteries down there to level it out. Yeah, so we've still got space. Yeah, we've still got lots of nooks and crannies, haven't we?
Yeah. And then the final one that I came across recently, I think I must have knocked into it and I didn't realise it was just like an extra bit of storage. So it's under our grill and our oven. There's like a little drawer that you can pull out, and I've only recently discovered this, and it's great because now I've got an extra option for kitchen storage. Although to be fair, at the moment everything's got its own place, but the potential is there. So
yeah, that's true. We do actually. Also, another thing is in the kitchen is we do actually have a wine rack.
Oh yeah.
As well, obviously, the previous owners must have been big wine drinkers. They must have been connoisseurs of wine. We are not wine drinkers. If you've watched a few videos on this channel, that you know that we like our wines fortified. Okay, so that comes with it's the last question here. So yeah, Sam, what do you reckon? Do you think we could live in a small space like this long term? Do you think?
I think we could, because I think we've had so much experience of living in small spaces that it doesn't really, we don't have a negative experience with it. For us, it's quite normal now. So I think we would definitely enjoy living in small spaces. It would be interesting once we've spent time living on a narrowboat to look at other alternative types of smaller spaces. A cottage would be nice, maybe. Yeah,
true. Yeah, considering that we made the decision to live on a narrowboat very quickly about 3 or 4 months ago, it would be a bit stupid to say that we're going to do it forever, wouldn't it? Yeah, because you just don't know what's going to happen considering. So yeah, but I agree. I exactly agree with you. Yeah. Small spaces are fine for me. It's something that definitely I could do for a long time. Actually, it's the other way round. I think I genuinely had a nightmare the other night about living in a mansion. Like, that's it.
Was it haunted?
Yeah, no, it wasn't haunted. Right, okay. It was just big. That was where all the walls were like gleaming white and everything was brand new and it was just soulless. Do you know what I mean? It was like, genuinely, I was just like, no, just take me back on the boat.
Did the nightmare involve having to clean that mansion?
It definitely could have done, but no, knowing me, there was no cleaning involved. It just didn't even cross my mind, to be honest. Terrible, really, but yeah.
So basically, we're made for small spaces. That's the point.
and maybe you are as well. So if you have any questions about it, and and some of that, so how we live a sort of happy life in a small space, that's cool. If you do that as well, that's great. Please share your experiences. If you got any questions, leave them below. And if you are new, then please consider subscribing for more videos from us living on a boat. So yeah, that is it this week. So thank you very much for watching.
And remember, no matter what you do in life, you have to remember to keep chugging.